Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be editing a panorama of the Milky Way that I recently shot at Pawley's Island, South Carolina. Pawley's Island has kind of become my go-to place to shoot for some reason here recently. There's not a lot of foreground subjects in the areas that I've traveled to other than some small dunes, but I've made the best of it. What I've started doing is when I set up a scene, right? Or set up a composition, I've been trying to shoot it three different ways. So I'll shoot a landscape, I'll shoot a portrait, and then try to shoot a panorama. What we're going to go over today is how I developed and edited post-processing of this panorama. So let's dive into Lightroom. We'll start there and then we will transition to Photoshop. Alright, so here we are in Lightroom, and I will move my big fat head around as needed. The first thing I'm going to do is, I've already done an edit of this, but I didn't shoot a video, so I want to go back and shoot a video doing this edit. So I got rid of all the photos that I had, and we're going to re-import them, okay? G drive, okay, here we go. It's a bunch of, I guess, Lightroom stuff that loaded from my phone. Alright, here we are. Alright, so we're looking at these raw files. This is scene 2 Pano, right? So I'm going to, these are the previous edits here. These are the raw files here. So there are 11 photos. Let's import those. Okay, very nice. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll take this first photo and we'll go into the develop module. So I'm shooting with a Nikon Z6 II. I've got a Sigma 1.4 or f1.4 20mm lens, and because I'm shooting in RAW format, I don't really concern myself with the white balance too much. I'll just leave it as a daylight white balance and I can adjust it accordingly here in Lightroom. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my basic tab and I'm going to look at the white balance. I'm going to see what auto does. Sometimes auto gets me where I need to be. Sometimes I need to cool it off a little more. So that's not bad. That's actually very natural looking. I think I cooled it off in the last edit. Let me see what it was as shot. Okay, so basically it's just adding red to it. A cool way that you can tell kind of where your white balance needs to be is if you take this saturation slider, jack it all the way up so that it's really making all the colors pop, and then kind of adjust it down to something that makes sense. Like that's got a lot of color to it, but it looks a bit more natural. It's getting a little cool. I think before I was down around like 4,300. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little warmer. I like that. And then you can just take that back down. So now you're looking at, this is what it originally was, kind of a really green hue to this, right? And I like that. That's more of a cool nighttime looking color balance. So then you'll come down here. I'm going to select all 11 of these photos. I'm going to click sync. I'm going to click check all. Ooh, one more thing real quick. The other thing I want to make sure that I do is under lens correction. I want to make sure I do remove chromatic aberration. I'm not really going to worry about a lens profile. You can do it if you want. I'm hesitant to do it on panoramas. I don't want anything to mess up. All right, so sync, check all, synchronize. And what that's going to do is take the edits that I did on this first photo. It's going to copy them all to all the other photos like that, right? So now with all 11 photos selected, we're going to right click and we're going to go to Photo Merge Panorama. We're going to let us do his thing. It's going to create a preview for us. All right, cool. That's very nice. Some things that I wanted to make sure I kept. There was actually the Lyra meteor showers going on right now time of this shooting. And I wanted to make sure I captured a meteor in that shot. And there's also this really bright star over here that looks really cool. I want to make sure that I keep those things. It looks like it's done a really good job aligning the horizon, which I think that's in part because I make sure, I take a lot of time to ensure that every shot is level, right? And make sure that if I move the camera, I go back and adjust the stars, like the focus, so that we have pinpoint stars, because the infinity focus on that Sigma f1.4 20mm is not the same as the lens that I used to have. I could turn it all the way set to infinity and it was good. This one's a little more finicky, but it's fine. If you want to check these different, I guess, projections, you can. Not going to roll with that. And it's unable to merge there. Okay, so we're going to stick with the spherical. I like this. Going to keep boundary warp at 0. I'm not going to check anything else, right? Let's go ahead and merge it. So if you look up in the top left corner, you can see your progress bar there. All right, awesome. Here is our merged photo. Now in the original edit, I did some adjusting to the horizon, but I think I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to leave it simply because in the original edit, it seemed to alter the arch of the Milky Way core. Give it almost like this people's eyebrow type look. So I'm just going to let this meteor be kind of curved and appreciate the fact that the Milky Way core looks good. All right, so most of the processing I'm going to do here in Lightroom, and I'm going to start with masking. So the first thing I'm going to try is to see if it can find the sky. No, it cannot. Okay, so let's get rid of that mask. All right, and then what we'll go for is a linear gradient. So I'm going to pull this down here. And what I want to do is make sure that we get most of the sky, and then I can bring this up. Probably about there. The first thing I'm going to do is probably look at the exposure. I can bring it down a bit. That's going to help us make it look a bit more like a night sky. Yeah, that's nice. So I purposefully shot these photos at f2 ISO 4000, and I did a 13-second exposure. All right, I have a really bad problem with like OCD, so I don't I need this to be that. No, hang on. All right. Yes, I need it to be that. Sorry. Yep. All right, great. So we're going to bring the exposure down. I purposefully kind of overexposed these photos because I can bring the exposure down and not introduce noise. But if I push exposure into it, I potentially can introduce noise, right? So I'm going to bring the exposure down a bit. Let's go with a little bit of contrast. That's going to help us get some darkening. Let's pull back the highlights. Here in the southern U.S., highlights, getting rid of them, pulling them back is very helpful. We have a lot of haze, a lot of light pollution, shadows. Let's see where we're at. I think I'm going to pull the shadows back. Whites, push that up to add some back. Seems counterintuitive, but it will help. I don't want a lot though. All right, there we go. Blacks, pull that black point down. That's going to help us, again, darken the sky down. And we can pull this down a bit. Nice. Then here's the money maker, dehaze, right? You can go too far. It's going to make it look really crazy. But it's really going to make the sky pop. Okay, so let's see. I might bring the nope, put it back. Put it back. All right, let's push some more. Those beautiful green air glow out. I mean, you could really see it. All right, so kind of like that. Big difference. Okay, that gives us some. And the more I pull it down, I can get rid of some of that light pollution too. All right, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's gonna have to be. All right, cool. That's gonna have to be. Let's add a little texture. You can go way too far with the texture, obviously, but there's probably fine. And a little bit of clarity, maybe like that. So that's got this pretty crazy looking sky. All right, maybe pull this back. Nice. All right, cool. So I'm going to create a new mask, and we're going to do a linear gradient again. This time we're going to edit the foreground. All right, bring it up to about there. The exposure here, because we brought that other gradient down, I want to increase the exposure here so we can see the foreground. Maybe go a full stop. A little contrast. And pull some of these highlights out. Boost the shadows. That's going to bring it forward. And maybe drop the black point a little bit. I like that. I'm going to give it some tint. Let's look at this gradient. I want to bring this up. Bring that down. All right. Nice. Very nice. Okay, cool. I like that. Sorry. Let's do some a little bit of sharpening. What I'm going to do is hold down Option, and I'm going to use this mask to try to get it to sharpen pretty much just the stars. And maybe push this up. That way it doesn't sharpen kind of, you know, the noise in between. Very subtle, if at all. But I really like that. I think that looks good. All right. So the next step, we're going to get up out of this, and we're going to right click, edit in Photoshop. We're going to transition over to Photoshop. No, thank you. All right. The first thing I'm going to do is duplicate this layer. I'm going to say it's original, copy. And I'm going to call this, all right, and that's just in case I mess up on anything, right? All right, so first thing I kind of want to do is figure out how I'm going to crop this down. Now I want to make sure this cool looking star over here in the top left and the meteor, I need those things to be in there, right? My camera's kind of in the way. All right, let's pull up the crop tool and let's see what we can do. So I want to make sure that stays. All right, that gets me on the left. Nope, all right, I need that. Nope, I'm losing it. All right. All right, I think I like that. Down a bit more. I really want to keep the, I don't know what the deal was with that star, but I really like the way it looks. All right, cool. Let's roll with that, right? So there's obviously going to be this piece missing. It's perfectly fine. Don't stress it. What we're going to do, let me go over here, find my tool again. My camera's kind of in the way. Lasso tool. All right. Boom. So I'm going to lasso this. We're going to do content aware fill. Now, if you look there, I think I can live with that. Let's see. Nope. All right, not good. All right, let's try a much tighter selection. Oops. That was terrible. I cannot, listen, I can't draw with a mouse. Okay. I can't do it. There's a reason I don't draw at all. All right, boom. Content aware. No. I don't want to pull this. I just want to pull from around it. All right, let's try that. What? Oh, there we go. All right, I can live with that. All right, very cool. All right, so we've got that. Next, I'm going to merge visible layers, original copy. Next thing I'm going to do, we're going to go and run clear sky. Nice. I would normally like 3, 4, or 5 on clear sky. 3, I don't even really notice anything. 4, a little. 5, 5's giving me the pop. All right, cool. So now I'm going to, I'm sorry, get rid of the layers I'm not using. I'm going to again merge visible, right? And now we're going to do some dodging and burning type stuff, right? So I'm going to do adjustment layer. I'm going to do a curves adjustment. I'm going to do some brightness, right? But I'm not going to do it like that. Well, that's not bad, in all honesty. What I would like to do, we're going to add a layer mask, and then we're going to go to the layer mask, and we're going to hit Command I to invert it, right? Remember that black conceals, white reveals. All right, so I'm gonna go to my brush. Yeah, soft brush, maybe 20% opacity. Yeah, close enough. All right. Oh, let me switch this. We need to switch it to white because, again, white is going to reveal this brightening. I'm going to make my brush smaller. I'm going to zoom in the photo. And the areas of the Milky Way that are brighter, we're going to brighten them up. Cool. All right, so if we zoom back out, all right, cool. All right, let's do another curves adjustment layer. This time, we're going to go darker. All right, add a layer mask, invert the layer mask, and then we can keep our same brush. And what we're going to do is go in and the dark areas of the Milky Way, right? We're going to darken those down. Very cool. All right, so that's on, off. Gives us just a little more pop in that Milky Way. I like that a lot. Like it a lot. All right, so again, let's do the same thing. Let's merge our visible layers here. I'm going to add another layer, and this is going to be, just for this quick edit, it's going to be my last layer. Sorry, my camera's in the way. I have created a watermark or a logo here. And I'm going to put it at about 70% opacity. And boom, let's just hit our watermark there. Go back to like our, no, that's a lasso tool. Okay, if I could see. Need to find a new place to put my camera. All right, cool. So I'm happy with that. What I would do from here, I would go to export for web. And I'm going to change the longest side to 2048. And we're going to hit save. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is S2 Pano. This is going to be 2025-04-27 was the date. Pawley's Island, South Pano. We'll call it E2 for edit 2. And we'll save it. Now, what I would do to get a high quality exportable TIFF file is I'm going to turn off the watermark layer, and then we're going to close out of Photoshop, and that's going to take us round trip back into Lightroom. So there we go. Nice. Now we're back in Lightroom, and okay, that's fine. Back in Lightroom, what we're going to do here, we're going to go to File, Export, Export Preferences. That's not what I wanted. I lied. File, Export. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, so let's see where I'm going to put this. So yep, it's going to be S2 Pano. That's where it needs to go. My name is going to be Pawley's Island South Pano edit 2.tiff, and we're going to export it. And again, you can see your progress in the upper left corner. All right, would appear we are done. All right, there you guys have it. That is a very simply shot panorama image and a very simple Lightroom and Photoshop edit that's not overly complicated. None of the Clarisky plugin you can run, those are free now. Clarisky, Mini Stars, it's like easy noise reduction. Those are all free. So you can Google Clarisky and go pick those up. It's a pretty neat little tool. But everything else is just done simply in Lightroom and Photoshop. So I appreciate you guys taking time out of your week to hang out with me and check out some astrophotography and some post-processing. It's probably the biggest, most complicated part of doing astrophotography. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.